All right, mate, let's talk about something a bit uncomfortable because it could be what's keeping you from traveling. Now, if you've ever said that I would love to travel, but I just can't afford it, have you ever wondered that maybe, just maybe, it's not about the money? It's about where our money goes, where it quietly disappears. And when we look back and think, where has that money gone and what have I spent that money on? Once upon a time, I did consider tracking my spending just to see what I was buying and how much it was costing me. But because that is just not Chrissy Boy's style, mate, I failed to do so. But if I was to track back then and I was looking back at that now, I would realize that I was spending more than enough to buy a flight ticket to a new country, buy 1 week in a nice hotel and other numerous activities that I could do whilst I was away. But instead, mate, I was collecting numerous crappy items from Amazon, a load of takeaway boxes from the kebab and other stuff that I just can't remember, except for the BMW i8 supercar, mate, because that was awesome. I guess that's when I realized that it's not that I didn't have money. I did. I just wasn't making travel spending a priority. But if you are stuck and it feels like nothing is changing and it hasn't for a while, then consider shifting the way that you're spending your money. Because let's be honest, stuff, material possessions, that's all noise. But getting lost in a new country, meeting people that you wouldn't at home, and sipping a coffee somewhere filled with people who don't speak your language, that is the stuff that sticks. That's the stuff that you can carry with you, and that is the stuff that you can look back on when you're old and decrepit, rocking back in your wooden chair thinking, go on, mate, I did that. That's awesome. And those memories are locked away in your mental attic, mate. So if you really do want to make travel happen, you don't need to wait around for a pay rise in your job or to strike it lucky on the lottery, mate. You just need some added clarity and awareness. Now, something you could do is something that I would never do, but it might be helpful to you. And that is tracking your spending for maybe a week or two. Not to guilt yourself or shame yourself, but just to see what the crack is, mate. See what you're spending and how much it's costing you. And then maybe what you can do is come up with something called the Freedom Fund or the Travel Jar. And the money that you skip buying sad, pointless, unnecessary items, you can pop that money in the Freedom Jar or Travel Fund. And I'm sure you'll be very surprised of how quickly that money adds up. This isn't about being tight with money. This is about spending with more purpose. No one remembers what you bought in July 2 years ago. What you'll remember is watching the sunset in a city that you didn't plan to visit, surrounded by strangers. Stuff fades, but stories, those wild, unpredictable, and amazing moments, those are what stay. Bonnie and I are going to cap off today's video by repeating the words in the title, which are, Bonnie, tell them. Spend less on stuff, travel more. Thank you and good night. What do you say, Bonnie?